Pronouns are used in place of nouns, and personal pronouns are those meaning I, you, he, she, etc. There are several different types which we will go through today. Subject pronouns are used as the subject of the verb. They are je, tu, il, elle, nous, vous, il, and elle. For example, je pense que tu as raison. The direct object suffers or undergoes the action of the verb. For example, I bought the guitar becomes I bought it. The direct object pronouns are me, te, le, la, nous, vous, and les. An example is Christophe? Mais oui, je le connais bien. Since direct object pronouns precede the verb, the past participle has to agree with the preceding direct object in compound tenses. For instance, les fleurs, je les ai mises dans la cuisine. Notice here the extra S on the end of mise when referring to les fleurs. The indirect object pronoun receives the action. It is usually the equivalent of a plus a person, referring to me, to you, and occasionally for us or for you. The indirect object pronouns are me, te, lui, nous, vous, and le. Examples are nous lui avons envoyé le cadeau and on nous a donné les résultats. Reflexive pronouns are used with reflexive verbs where the subject and object are the same. For example, the verb se lever, to get up. The pronouns are me, te, ce, nous, vous, and ce. An example is pendant que je me rassais ce matin, je me suis coupé le menton. Remember that in the positive imperative, te becomes toi. So using the previous example of se lever, one would say lève-toi. Disjunctive pronouns are known as emphatic pronouns. They are moi, toi, lui, elle, nous, vous, and elle. Mem is added to get the emphatic myself, yourself, and so on. Disjunctive pronouns are used after prepositions. For example, je ne peux pas vivre sans toi. They are also used after verbs, usually implying motion to someone. A plus the disjunctive pronoun is used rather than an indirect object pronoun. Je ne sais pas pourquoi tu es venu à moi. Since in French you cannot put stress on a subject or object pronoun to provide emphasis or contrast, you use the disjunctive pronoun to double the pronoun. For example, je la déteste, elle. You also use this pronoun when there is no verb and after c'est. For example, c'est toi. It is also used in comparisons after que. Je suis plus fort en anglais que toi. There are two additional commonly used pronouns, I and on, which also usually precede the verb. In addition to simply meaning there, I replaces a or dans plus a thing, a place, or a verb, but not a person. For example, le gros lot, vous pouvez y songer, mais ça n'arrive pas souvent. In a similar way, on replaces de plus a thing, and means of it, of them, from it, from them, some of it, some of them. For example, Ils ont un revenu, tu ressemons. Remember that on must be included to replace the de of most expressions of quantity, such as Je peux vous offrir des pommes de terre. Combien en voulez-vous? Another thing to consider is what happens when more than one pronoun is used together. Apart from in the positive command where they follow the verb, they come in the order below. Also, you never use more than two pronouns together. For example, il m'y en veut. After the positive command, where the pronouns are attached by hyphens to the end of the verb, the order of the pronouns is the same, except that moi and toi replace me and te and come last, though not in the combinations with on, such as mon or ton. For example, donnez-le-moi. These pronouns also come between a modal or other verb and a following infinitive. For instance, la librairie va me l'envoyer demain. Also note how the combinations a and le and de and le do not get shortened when they occur before an infinitive. Le is an object pronoun, not a definite article. So that's all for personal pronouns. There are various different types, so remember when it is correct to use each.